There are many popular franchises. One of these is the Jurassic Park film series with 5 movies currently and 1 more to be released in 2022. However, of these 5 movies, there is one that is so bad and stupid I legitimately struggled to finish it. This being 2015's Jurassic World. The movie starts up by introducing 2 of the main characters. Gray, who is basically just a Dino Dan ripoff, and his older brother Zach, possibly the creepiest character. Gray is played by Ty Simpkins, who you may know from multiple movies such as Iron Man 3, the Insidious film series, and even that one scene in Endgame that caused everyone to cry like a little bitch. And Zach is played by Nick Robinson, who you may know from Kong Skull Island as bar guest. The parents happen to be going through a divorce and decide to leave them in potentially the most dangerous location on the planet because you know kids really aren't that important when going through a divorce. They then journey to Jurassic World where Zach plots how he's going to kidnap this gal and lock her in his basement. They then arrive at Jurassic World where we're introduced to another main character, Aunt Claire, who looks a lot like an android from the game Detroit Become Human. She's the park manager despite the fact she makes a lot of bad decisions throughout the entire movie. So much so that I'm going to add a scene count now for every bad decision she makes. Claire then reunites with her nephews and decides to leave them alone with their obviously incompetent babysitter. She also notes that she will take a 12-year-old to the control room for some reason. We are then introduced to the owner of the park, Mr. Masrani, who is currently taking helicopter flying lessons. Emphasis on lessons. Claire then gets inside the helicopter with her unlicensed boss to see the brand new dinosaur. We are then introduced to the 4th and final main character, Owen, played by Chris Pratt. In all honesty, he's the only redeeming quality in this movie, as he suits his role very well and I don't believe anyone else could have performed as well as he did. It's unfortunate that the horrific CGI of the dinosaurs takes away from his performance. Ugh. We then go back to the boys where they decide to abandon their babysitter and instead watch as a T-Rex eats a girl. Not gonna lie, we'd all probably do the same thing. We then see Claire and Owen have an important discussion about mating or something, which ends in Claire utterly destroying Owen's career.
You might want to change your shirt. They're very sensitive to smell.
They then arrive at the facility where the Indominus Rex had supposedly gone missing out of its cage, only to have outsmarted Claire into opening up the cage doors. You would think right about now they would close the park and evacuate the thousands of people to avoid the events that happened in the first movie, right? But no, Mr. Masrani and Claire deployed the ACU team to bring the dinosaur who outsmarted them back to the cage, to which Claire believes no one else is going to be eaten. As the only sane person in the room, Owen tells them to shut the park and have the dinosaur killed, but to no one's surprise, Claire refuses to do so. We then return to the boys where Zach continues his psychotic plotting and all the ways he's going to torture these girls in his basement. They then get into the hamster wheel and conveniently after they go on the ride operator receives a call telling him to shut it all down. We then go back to Claire who suddenly remembers she has nephews. She attempts to call them only to fail as the connection is really bad, although she could have easily messaged, which she doesn't do, I'm just saying. Anyways, you would expect a $1 billion park to have better reception, especially one that literally has killer dinosaurs everywhere, but not Jurassic World. We then watch as Zach takes his little brother to a restricted area where they encounter the Indominus Rex. You know, I'm really starting to think Zach's a bad brother.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit!
We then return to Claire, who has asked Owen to help her find Zach and Gray. They track down their hamster wheel and Owen tells her that they've got away. Claire then proceeds to shout their names like a maniac to attract dinosaurs. Owen advises Claire to go back because of her shoes and she then rolls up her sleeves for some reason, even though Owen clearly stated that the shoes were the problem. Even Owen's confused by what just happened. We then return to headquarters where Miss Masrani gathers a team to deal with the Indominus Rex. And it's here the best scene in the movie takes place.
A helicopter?
We don't need anyone else.
Yeah, he dies horribly. We then watch as the dinosaurs start to attack the customers and Zach and Gray watch as their babysitter is eaten by a dinosaur. You can really tell how torn up they are by the look on their faces.
Where am I?
Owen and Claire arrive, and Claire, being Claire, thinks it's a good idea to stand on a table in front of the guy shooting the dinosaurs. Owen then gets into a wrestling match with one of the dinosaurs, and Claire finally does something useful and knocks the shit out of him. Owen, being unable to contain his boner, kisses Claire, forgetting that people are literally dying around him.
That's some bullshit.
Claire then receives a call from Jake Johnson, oh yeah, I forgot to mention he's in this movie, telling her that they're going to use Owen's dinosaurs to hunt the Indominus Rex. Owen and Claire then make their way back to the raptor's cage and for some reason bring Gray and Zach with them to an obviously dangerous place. I'm going to give Claire another point here, mainly because she should know by now that maybe it's not the best idea to bring children to a dangerous area. Anyways, they arrive and Owen out of nowhere punches the shit out of some guy who I can't be asked to remember for using the raptors as weapons. We then watch as Claire traps her nephews in the back of a van, as this is much safer than them being miles away from the dinosaurs like everyone else. We then cut back to Owen, who's leading the raptors to the Indominus. They manage to locate it, but Owen learns that they used the DNA of the raptors to create the Indominus, and she turns them against Owen and the others. To no one's surprise, the raptors find a way to Claire and the boys. They manage to escape, but Claire forces the boys not to tell their mother as she knows she would be facing a massive lawsuit. They make it back to the park but are intercepted by the raptors again, who corner them. However, Owen uses his Conqueror's haki to tame them and turn them back against the Indominus Rex. Gray tells Claire there's not enough dinosaurs to beat the Indominus, and Claire takes off to bring another dinosaur into the fight because, you know, more dinosaurs are definitely going to solve the problem. She then orders Jake Johnson to open up the cage for the T-Rex and then proceeds to run from it. Through the power of high heels, Claire successfully lures the T-Rex to the Indominus and they begin to battle, and the CGI is as bad as you would expect it to be. The battle ends with the Indominus not being beaten by the T-Rex, but the water dinosaur that no one knows or cares about.
Do I know you? Do I fucking know you? Why are you fucking coming fucking close to me?
So yeah, that was Jurassic World. After watching the movie for the first time, I can personally say I would rather watch this same scene from Dino Dan 10 times over. The movie just isn't very smart. I understand what the plot was, but if you've seen the first movie, it's literally just a modern repeat. That's not as good. However, I will say again that the performance of Chris Pratt was actually pretty good. And I hope the next movie is a big improvement of this one.